Good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here on January 16th, 2025, a Thursday, your PM in the AM report here on YouTube and on 24/7 Sports. Quick note, there are reports out that Eli Drinkwitz is hiring a linebackers coach. That's expected to be Derek Nicholson from the University of Miami to replace DJ Smith, who went to Appalachian State as their defensive coordinators. Multiple reports out on this. I checked with somebody. It's not finalized, but it seems like it's heading that direction at Mizzou. We'll update that when we can. Not a whole lot more to say about that. But for now, Eli Drinkwitz's staff is once again full. Today's subject, I wanted to talk about watching Caleb Grill on Tuesday night at Florida and just an unconscious shooting display. Shots from all angles, never set. Good defense, didn't matter. Caleb Grill was knocking down three-pointers. Kind of made me think of the best three-point shooters we've seen at Missouri. I think the one that comes to everybody's mind immediately is obviously Clarence Gilbert. And Clarence was probably the most similar to Caleb Grill in that when he got hot, he might just hit 7, 8, 9 in a row, right? That's a little bit different than a lot of the guys that are kind of on my list that I'm going to talk about these next 4 or 5 names, because Clarence was the guy that, yeah, he might have a 1 for 9 day, but he also might have an 8 for 9 day, right? And a lot of the other guys on the list weren't necessarily guys that were going to come out and hit 7 or 8. They were just very solid, like 3 for 6, 4 for 7, a lot of different times out. I think Gilbert's probably the best comp for Caleb Grill in that he could just get crazy hot, and there were days you couldn't do much of anything about it. The other guys on my list, I think a guy that doesn't get as much attention as he probably should, actually 2 of them, Matt Lawrence and Brian Grauer. Both of those guys are among Missouri's, top 5 to 7 all-time three-point shooters, both in percentage and in total makes. Matt Lawrence became a guy that really emerged over his last couple years and was more just of a spot-up shooter. Brian Grauer, a guy probably who, a little bit more of a traditional point guard, but he also was able to knock down a bunch of three-point shots. I think Marcus Denman is a guy you have to mention here. He was over 40% in his career, second all-time percentage-wise at Missouri, second or third. The records on that seem to be a little bit messed up, but top 3 all-time percentage-wise. And obviously everybody remembers what he did against Kansas. The best three-point shooter in Missouri history, percentage-wise, it was Kareem Rush, guys. He had, and it was interesting because Kareem had such an all-around game. He was so smooth driving to the basket that I think maybe he didn't get the credit that he deserved as an outside shooter, but that left-handed stroke, percentage-wise, he was over 42% in his career at Missouri. He's Missouri's all-time leading three-point shooter. I think he's probably, I don't know if he's the best. Like, I think a lot of people would say Clarence Gilbert's the best, right? Because he had 12 in a game and all that. But I think Kareem is certainly the most consistent three-point shooter at Missouri. Then let's go back to the old days. I didn't quite see this. I wasn't around. The three-point line didn't exist until 1986. Most people that have watched Missouri basketball for a long time will tell you if the three-point line existed, John Sundvold would probably be the all-time leading scorer in Missouri basketball history, and certainly the all-time leading three-point shooter. So those are just kind of some of the names that came to mind that I've thought about over the last couple of days. Interested to hear some of your guys' thoughts and comps and all that. Drop those in the comments. Make sure to, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, leave the comments in your replies. Tell me who your favorite guys were to watch shoot the basketball at Mizzou. That's this morning's PM in the AM. We will be back tomorrow with another few minutes hanging out with you here on YouTube and 24/7 Sports.